Hello boys and girls, ladies and gents, and welcome to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This will be my full playthrough, 100%, obviously, because I'm just that good. Now, I haven't completed this game yet. As you could see from the screens there, I've got not really even a quarter of the way through. I haven't even got the Master Sword yet. I'm still doing the Vessel of Tears, but that's not a big problem. I will be talking through these unless other people prefer otherwise, and then of course I'll be more than happy to stay quiet, but because it's all text, I didn't think it really mattered. So, welcome to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This is not my first Zelda. I have played Ocarina of Time 64, Ocarina of Time for the N64, I do apologise about that. That was the gateway into Zelda for me. I absolutely loved Ocarina of Time for the N64. Admittedly, I didn't get very far in it because the Deku Tree terrified me, but I loved playing with it. I loved messing around in it. I loved sometimes, because I never rented it, you see, so sometimes there'd be a save file on there where somebody got a bit further, and that'd be awesome because then that'd mean I could then explore more of the map without having to go through the Deku Tree. I was a very silly child. So, yes, it's a really good and really fun franchise in my opinion. Now, Twilight Princess is an amazing game. If this is your first ever Zelda, it is a brilliant opening for you. It is amazing good fun. Amazingly good fun. I do apologise, my English is failing today and I'm not sure why. So, that's Epona, our horse, and Link with some guy with a sword whose name escapes me. I'm sure we'll find out later on. So, I'm going to be talking to certain NPCs, some others not. Just so you get a gist of what it is I'm trying to do, things like that, so you understand why I'm doing this, why I'm doing that. Some things I'll explain myself because it'll be easier than having to sit through backtracking and things. I had to go talk to somebody to then get an idea of what to do next, to then leave that area and do it and blah blah blah. That's not very fun in my opinion. That's kind of tedious. So I love Zelda games. I have finished Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Link's Awakening. I'm currently playing through I was playing through Minish Cap. That one I need to start again because it's been that long. I forgot where I am and everything. So that's one I might do for the channel. Actually, I would like to do some Zeldas for this because I just think it's a great franchise. So yes, I hope you enjoy this series as much as I do. If you do, then hell, feel free to leave a like or a comment and let me know what you think. You know, I'm more than happy to talk to everybody, and if you've got questions, ask them. I'll answer anything I can within reason. I'm not answering that. Okay, so this guy's looking for Link. I do like the house in this compared to the one from Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time was good, don't get me wrong. The house was nice-ish. But it was a bit bare bones. At least this one's got furniture in, other than a bed and a table. I really should go. Although I must admit, I do think it's awesome when you beat the record for the Epona race on Ocarina of Time and you get a cow delivered to your house. I think that is absolutely awesome. I think that is the greatest thing ever. Okay, so I now have to go find Epona. Epona's up here, so that's no problem. That's simple enough. I'll tell you what I will do while I'm here actually is I will grab some rupees. Now you might be wondering why I'm already starting to grab rupees. Well, I need 30 quite shortly actually. It's after this section. Once I've done the goats and everything, I then need to eventually, well, I say it's after this section, it kind of is after this section. I do need 30 rupees though to buy the slingshot, so it's worth collecting early and getting, you know, a nice head start. So this is Ilia. She's looking after our horse Epona, which is awesome. I think that's really cool. Although she does get mad at us later, but you'll see that. There is so much beauty in this game, though. There is the amount of care and attention to detail, and the music. It's just incredible. It is by far my favourite franchise, simply because it just it brings me into it. It makes me feel like I'm a part of this beautiful world, that this adventure is mine. Adventure, sorry. And I mean, the one I've not played is Link's Crossbow Training, which that I wouldn't really class that as a as an official. Well, I say official. I wouldn't class that as a game for the Zelda timeline. Put it that way. But I mean, if you get into stuff like that, I mean, Majora's Mask was probably the darkest story I've ever played for a Zelda game. It was so gritty, and it dealt with a lot of quite serious issues, which, you know, is awesome. Ocarina of Time was like that was just like the best adventure. You were saving a princess from an evil, you know, from an evil lord. It was awesome. So yeah, it's funny how these things, you know, how these games have changed. I mean, Wind Waker, I must admit, first time I saw Wind Waker, I didn't get it. I never played it until it came out on the Wii U. Was it the Wii U? Yes, it was. As the HD, yeah, yes, because I've got it. Sorry, I'm being a derp. I never played it until I got it on that, and that's because a lot of people have said, oh, it's actually really good, the cel shading, you know, don't think about it like that, just get into the story. And I did, and I fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. That's one of my other favourite, I think, to be honest, I don't think it's a Zelda game I don't enjoy. I've got all of them on here. I've got the ones from the Virtual Console, which is awesome. So, I mean, at some point I might go through something like The Legend of Zelda, you know, the original for the NES. So I was trying to think if I should call it Legend of Zelda 1 or not, but no. I might play through that, I don't know. Zelda 2 I've not finished, The Adventure of Link, I have not finished that. I've heard that is insanely difficult when you get to Death Mountain. Again, I honestly don't know. That is one I think I would honestly need a guide for. So yeah, it's, you know, Zelda is it's an amazing franchise. I would suggest to anybody to try it. If you're thinking about trying it, try it. It's worth it, believe me. I mean, I've finished the original Legend of Zelda for the NES, and even that was amazingly good fun. I really enjoyed playing through that. That really was an amazing game. And for its time, it must have been groundbreaking, you know, to have so much. So yeah, I mean, in that respect, I just love Zelda. It's awesome. That and Super Mario, they are my two staples. I love Super Mario and I love Zelda. Although admittedly, there are a few bad Mario games. Oh. Actually, going back, I said there's not a single Zelda game I can think of that I don't like. Yes, there is. The 3DOs. The 3DO games, they're pretty bad. They're quite terrible. But yeah, apart from that, it's all good. So yeah, this is Link's house. I think this is the first time I get to see him here, actually. He's got a picture of a goat for some reason. You know what? I'm not going to question that. Maybe he's Welsh. Oh, that's upset my Welsh viewers, if I ever get any. Okay, so he's got a basement. There is a chest in there with 50 rupees. So, but unfortunately, I tried earlier to get it without the lantern, and I couldn't get it. So maybe you need the lantern for it. Okay, so if you talk to them three, they tell you about a slingshot that's available in the shop. We're just going to skip that and go straight for it, because it just makes it a bit quicker. I don't see the point in sitting through pointless dialogue. So if you talk to that guy, he tells you about how there's a bee's nest. Wonderful. If you talk to her that's running, she's looking for a cradle. Well, oh, that reminds me. Sorry, I've just changed the camera and realised I haven't done it yet. Bear with me. There we go, done. Right, so this guy is like the same. I think there's one of these in every 3D Zelda game to teach you how to use the Z lock-on. Again, it's not something that I'm bothered about. He tells you about a cat. That cat does come into the game later on. He then tells you about the grass as well. I believe this is probably your first introduction into this grass in the game. I don't know if you can get told about it earlier, I'm not sure, but if you blow this one that looks a bit like a bird, you get a bird. I want to say hawk, but I think I've got that wrong. It might be a hawk, I'm not 100% sure. So, the hawk comes down. Now, for those of you who have played this before, you probably think, well, why have you got one here? You need it later on to shoot at that monkey over there. You're right, I do. But I also need to get up there. And the reason for that is I need some rupees. Now, if you are close enough to one of those nests when it drops, the bees will attack you. They will come after you. They don't do massive damage, but if you leave them, they probably can kill you. They've never killed me, thankfully, but I'm sure they probably can if you leave them to it. So now we need another bird, because now we're going for the cradle. I call it a basket, she calls it a cradle. Whatever. So, the bird lands, and we have to aim just... I don't know... I tried to aim for the monkey's head, because I think if you aim too low, the bird won't grab the basket. And I seem to find that I don't know. It's just an assumption. I'm probably wrong. But again, I'd rather do it that way. You know, better safe than sorry, as they say. So now we've got this. Jump off the roof. Don't try that at home, please. So yeah, go to her and she says, oh, you found it. And she's been looking for it, which is awesome, because now we can help her. And she's got, I think that's washing in her arm, it looks like. For some reason, I'm a bit of a derp. I actually thought that was when I first played through this, because if you look at it like that, the light tends to shine off it a little bit. And I couldn't decide whether it was a loaf of bread or a baby. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's a beautiful little village this to start with. Most of them are actually. The one in Ocarina of Time was amazing as well. The Majora's Mask town was a bit strange. It was a bit strange. There were some very colourful characters in that game. Brilliant game though, no doubt. You know. So, for helping her, we get the fishing rod, which is what we need for the next part of this. I want to call it a small trade sequence, because that's what it feels like. So, before we go any further, I will just equip the fishing rod to Y. And then we will move down here. I've gone the wrong way. Grab this rupee under here, because why not? And there's two more here. And there's one over here. Now don't worry, we are going to get enough rupees to get the slingshot, it's not a problem. So, we fish here. I don't know if you can do it anywhere else, but I find it's easier to go here. This seems to be the area where you can progress the story, which you'll see in a few seconds. I wonder what the biggest fish you can catch out of there is. I have no idea. And then the cat runs off with it, little bastard. No, but seriously, the cat is cute. I work at the Sheffield Cat Shelter and I love it. I work with kittens, I work with cats. It's brilliant. I love how the little cat flap has a little picture of a cat on it as well. I think that's pretty cool. So, now we've done that, we can put this away because we don't need it now. And we can begin collecting rupees. Now, sometimes, if you're lucky, a blue rupee will drop out of these pumpkins. Again, it is all to do with luck. I don't think there's any... Yeah, see, that time I didn't get a single one. Last time, I did. So, yeah, I think it's just all random. So, we've got 20 already. We only need 10 more. We're going to be getting a few more than that. We're going to probably end up around the 40 section, because I also need 100 rupees for later on. to get a bottle. So I like to collect as many rupees as I can, as early as I can, so that I'm not stuck. Oh, beautiful, 5, that's wonderful. So, yes, if we climb up here, which is simple, there's no problem with that, we can then go up here. And this has a yellow rupee, which is worth 10, which is awesome. Now I think you can probably get that rupee over there if you use one of the bird plants again that I was using earlier to call the hawk. I've never managed it. He always ends up slamming into the floor, so I've sort of given up on that one. But if we go up here and go to the left to start with, that's 38. Now this stuff from the nest, if you have a bottle you can scoop up bee larvae. You get 10 and they refill some of your hearts, 1/4 for each one, I think, I'm not sure. So yeah, that's information there if you need it. I'm sure you already knew that. So yeah, we go up this tree, turn the camera, and there's a blue rupee and a yellow rupee. And very carefully, and then we jump. And he rolled it, nice. He didn't last time. Last time he just sort of slammed into the floor. Okay, so now we're going to buy the slingshot, but first we need to listen to her. Oh yeah, he caught a fish all by himself. I didn't help at all. Oh yeah, total genius. You really should put him on QI. I think he'd do really well. Oh, thank you. You give me half a bottle of milk. Oh, I feel so honoured. I'm not going to return it, darling. This bottle is mine. I'm going to be using it for the rest of my adventure. There is. I want that. Yeah, she tells me off for buying this, and I just think, well, yeah, you've got it there. When somebody buys it, you then chastise them. What the hell's wrong with you? So, I do apologise, my voice cracked a little bit there. Yes, I don't think you will see me again soon, but there we go. So, now that we've done that bit, we can move on to the next bit, which is getting the sword. Now, the sword is pretty easy. Well, I say sword, it's a wooden sword, but yeah. As you go back to Link's house, because the kids want to see the slingshot, that's why you've got to go back. You get to meet him again. I want to say his name's Fallon, but I'm not sure. He's just delivered something to my room. And he's glad that we've got the fishing rod, which is awesome. So, ignore the kids for now, because otherwise it's a bit more walking around. You can do it all in one go, which... So, take care of that thing. It's dead. Jump up here. Open the door. And get the... And now, when you go in here, there is a chest. A big, beautiful chest. Don't we all love big, beautiful chests? Anyway, so wooden sword. Russell, that's it, not Fallon. Where did I get Fallon from? Russell, that's it. I don't know where I got Fallon from. That's going to bug me. Is there somebody called Fallon in this? Or am I thinking of something that I might be thinking? Anyway, doesn't matter. So, we've got the sword, got a slingshot. Now we talk to the kids, because now we do 2 training sequences, one after the other. Yeah, what I'm getting is, oh, you had enough money to buy it. Yeah, it was fairly easy. There was money under rocks. It wasn't exactly difficult. You know, they're acting like, oh my god, it was like £1 million. It's like, no, it was 30 rupees. I got 50 just from wandering around the village. It was that simple. Yeah, so they act... Oh, one thing I do want to say first off is, aren't these kids freaky looking? I mean, they're so weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just... Oh, missed that one. So yeah, this is... there's another one like this later on for the bow. But you get something... You actually get something for doing the bow one. But we'll get to that when we get there. So they're amazed at my awesome slingshot skills. Which, you know, it's pretty bad. You know, I'm on level, you know. I could probably snipe the Ganondorf from here, but I won't because that'd be cheating. Yeah, so now we've got to teach how to use the swords because they apparently want to use it on the monkeys. Who the hell attacks a monkey with a stick? I mean, really. Oh, having said that, there is that. Yeah, I was going to bring up that gorilla that was shot, but I forgot his name. Was it Harum? I can't remember his name. Yeah, that was pretty stupid. But anyway. Yeah. So oh, you can do. I didn't realise you could do that. So yes, this is the stab. You stab people with that. The twirly thing. It's called a spin attack. That baby in the middle, man, that's got attitude, I tell you. I wonder if... was it... I want to say it was A Link to the Past that brought in the spin attack. Because I remember when you first dropped down into the sewers of the castle to go and find Zelda for the first time right at the beginning of the game, your dad... is it his dad? His uncle tells him how to do it. And yeah, and there we go. So, by doing all that, we are finished with the training. And now, the kids run off to go and fight monkeys. I think these children need to be taught a lesson in leaving the wildlife alone. But there we go. I mean, look, it's got a little hat on and everything. I don't know where she gets off. Oh yeah, good luck with that. Right, that is going to be it for this video. That is the opening. That is as far as I'm going, because otherwise this video is going to be way too long. So, boys and girls, ladies and gents, I hope you've enjoyed this first episode of my playthrough of Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I hope to see you next time. Take care, guys.